Hello and welcome back to another episode of WTF is AuDHD. We're Ellie and Paige, late diagnosed sisters. We were diagnosed late.
And we're here to educate. You fucked that up.
I know, and I think that's just going to be a reflection of this entire episode today.
You know, we're battling a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, just straight up, we'll just say I've been sick for the last week. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm still not quite right, so I'm lacking energy and brain power. And Paige, how are you going over there?
You know, I'm definitely burnt out for that one.
Yeah.
Very tired. My self-care has kind of gone down the drain. Hairy legs. It's not even like a big deal at all, but just, you know, I didn't wash my hair for like a week. Getting in and out of the shower was like really hard. Walking up and down the stairs, I literally felt like I'd run like a 400-meter race. And yeah, I like don't make my bed.
Yeah, but no, usually Paige is reasonably good at keeping her house in some sort of order, in an ADHD order, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
There's 5 bags of cat poo in my bathroom, and I haven't taken them downstairs to the bin because it's just too much to bear.
yeah, I understand. Burnout is bloody real, and I think Paige goes through spouts like this, as we all kind of do, but Paige is very driven by her dopamine, usually, when it comes to work and like anything in life, really. And this is the whole AuDHD contradiction. Like, we end up going from energy, burnout, and it almost hits us before we realize that it's hitting us.
And I think this is also why people can get misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder, right?
Yeah.
Because then I just end up being horizontal with my eye mask on and just needing like to be away. Like this light right now is like not the goods.
Yeah, we have a light in here, obviously, to make us look hot, but it's very bright. But yeah, I guess this is actually leading into our episode quite well in a way. We want to chat today just about AuDHD and sort of the contradictions and like the irony of living with AuDHD in the way of wanting one thing but needing something else. And we're going to involve quite a few listeners in today's episode. I put a question out asking people what their everyday kind of AuDHD contradictions are. And we've got quite a few replies, and a lot of them I've just been nodding at going, oh my gosh, yes. And we'll share a couple of our own as well. Because I think when it comes to AuDHD, it's a really weird space to be in the way of we have very little research still, as we've said many, many times. But I'm not kidding when I say that this podcast here, along with a few others and other researchers, are kind of the trailblazers in this area. I'm not trying to toot our own horn. I'm actually just genuinely being real that I think a lot of the time all Paige and I can really do is discuss our lived experiences because it's contributing to the wider pool of research. Because it was only able to be diagnosed together 12 years ago, you can imagine how many people before 2013 were diagnosed with just one or the other and are actually just AuDHD probably.
Or presented as like big highs and big lows and then bipolar disorder, right?
Totally. Like, I think there's so many misdiagnoses of AuDHD and we're not even anywhere near catching up to it. So even us trying to bring you knowledge and info, some of the most valuable info and knowledge we have is ourselves, including the stuff that you as a listener bring to us, because the research is lacking. And because of that lack of research, lack of lived experience across, years, it also means that the treatments for AuDHD are very far behind too. So, like, I find the problem with talking about AuDHD, and the reason one of the reasons we started this podcast is there's so much research now on ADHD and autism separately, but I really do struggle to relate to those. Like, there's bits that I relate to. I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. And then there's ADHD bits where I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. But I really don't fully relate to a lot of that research.
Because it's its own experience.
It really is.
It is in ways combo of both, but it's like its own experience.
Yeah. It's like when you put, I don't know, what are the primary colours? Blue and red together.
Oh.
And you get purple.
Oh.
That's a whole different colour.
It is.
That
is just so good, that analogy.
But the red and the blue are very separate and different in their own way.
Yes.
And so treating the red paint with a strategy that suits only the blue paint is not going to work. So this is what happens in our brain. Like, we get treated with autistic strategies and then our ADHD can't stick to it.
Oh.
Or we get given ADHD strategies or medication, for example, and then it increases our experience of sensory overload.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
So today we just wanted to talk about the contradictions and not even necessarily offer solutions because honestly, genuinely, they're still trying to work out how to treat people with AuDHD. There are strategies, but it has to be a combination of ADHD medications say, and then autistic structure and therapy there. But again, I've been in therapy and I've been given handouts to read and I've been given exercises to do. And do you think I've done them?
Oh no.
Like I haven't. Like I haven't really. Reading, a bit of the reading I've done because it interests me. I'm also talking about years ago too when I was in therapy. I'm not just talking about the therapy I do these days. Years ago, I was given all these like workbooks and like sheets of shit and I'm like,
It's so ironic.
yeah, it ends up in the bottom of my car, like passenger seat.
And you don't forget that it's there until one day, like 3 years later, you go clean out your car.
Yeah,
which
or
is a mess, by the way. Well, not anymore, but you know.
Or I'm going to the next appointment. I'm like, oh shit, what did they give me last time? Oh, I need to pretend I did.
You're like freaking studying for your,
yeah.
what do you call it?
Yeah.
My brain is fried, so you're
same. We're both a bit fried today, so apologies if this is a bit messy.
I'm a bit delirious, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm very up and down, like Ellie said. Like I'm just like very sporadic, very intense, and then I'll just hit a wall and I'll just be like, leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's volatile to deal with. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's what we're trying to say is we have no solutions for you. The end. No, no, but we just want to stress if you're feeling like you've just been diagnosed or you're discovering you might have AuDHD and you're going, what now? Oh my gosh, I feel so alone. There feels like there's no treatment. There feels like there's no solutions.
Welcome.
Yeah, you're not fully wrong. Like you're a little bit right. And I'm doing as much research as I can. And we had Mike Cochran on last week. Wonderful clinical psychologist who offered amazing insight, and that's not the last guest we'll have. We're going to have lots of great guests that can give us more insight into this, but for now it's just us. And the treatment for ADHD is still a work in progress, and the other gap and issue in this whole thing is that even the psychiatrists and psychologists are behind on this. So like you could go to a psychologist and they could be treating you for your autistic traits, but they may not even know that you're ADHD, or they know you're ADHD, but they try and just touch the autism and then the ADHD gets worse or vice versa. So even the professionals are not fully up to date with this. Hence why having GPs diagnose ADHD very soon in New Zealand is going to be very interesting because I still, as Mike said last week, there's still errors and issues with even psychologists and psychiatrists being behind this research. So I can't imagine how they're going to get the GPs caught up to it. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I found like totally, babes.
Wow, thanks for the validation.
So insightful. But back to me. When I got diagnosed with ADHD and then medicated, like my autism got I just noticed it so much worse. Like my overstimulation, like my social anxiety.
Me too.
Because my ADHD kind of, as stressful as it was as well, in its different way, it kind of got me through social situations.
Yeah, me too.
Whereas I just noticed how autistic I felt in these social situations once I was treated for my ADHD, and then that came to the front.
Yeah.
Of my issues, and then it's just weird.
Very common.
How do you manage both of them?
It's really hard.
Because they're opposites.
Yeah, they really are wanting different things, and it's really hard to. You end up going, okay, I'm going to stimulate my ADHD now. I'm going to go and I'm going to get energy, and I've got so much energy and I want to stimulate that, and I'm going to follow this dopamine that I'm finding so fun. And then it's just immediately followed by burnout. Yeah. So like social situation,
even just an example yesterday, in the end, I just laughed out loud, but I was doing some work and I had my music blaring because I generally, like that. So it was like, fucking rock shit, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it just comes all of a sudden. I was like, smashed it shut, smashed it off, and then was like, oh, God. Started working again. Literally like a minute or two later, all of a sudden felt like, I need some stimulation. Turned it on again, worked. And shit, this happened about twice. And then about a minute later, I was like, turned it off. And then again, it happened again, and I turned it back on.
Yeah. Relatable. This is exactly the point of this episode. It's to just chat about these anomalies and these weird experiences we have. Offer advice if we have some, but isn't it torture to your brain wanting one thing and then you give it that and then it's like, nah, just can I want this thing?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's so confusing. And when you don't know, say when we didn't know that we were ADHD, I remember we would have conversations about it, but not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
I would always say I just don't know what happened. I had so many good habits in place, and then all of a sudden this week I've just fallen off the wagon.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because I just can't stick to anything, and I don't know why. Like, what is it? And we'd always talk about it. And now I look back, I'm like, oh my god, that was it
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, it was the seesaw of autism and ADHD, and
Yeah.
it is a really like tiring seesaw when, especially when you don't know. And this is the other thing with AuDHD, because they kind of look like opposites in some ways, and they work together actually in a way. People are easily missed, like
Yes.
because it hides it, and like my ADHD's definitely masked my autism side,
Yeah.
for sure,
Same.
and then my autism side has kept my ADHD under control.
In ways, yeah.
So like I wouldn't necessarily miss deadlines, or I wouldn't forget things because my autistic side would be so like,
Regimented. You've learned about the fact that you're maybe a bit forgetful.
Yeah.
So you've spent the time. You're so aware of putting things in place to help you not forget those things.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is why those ADHD screeners can even be, and autism screeners can be confusing, because it will have a question that says something like, I often forget things, say.
Mm.
When I saw that on the screener 4 years ago, my answer was, no, not really. I don't often forget things.
Yeah.
But what you need to also realize is that I would have been forgetting things had I not put all these systems in place.
Yes, and also I noticed that it's always when, like, I'm also kind of similar. I'm probably worse than you, where I have forgotten things, but Mum will be agreeing with that if she ever listens to this. But I would always notice if I was overstimulated is when I would forget things. So like,
Yeah.
if something was happening around me where my attention was like I was almost frozen and I was just kind of I can't explain it. That's when I'd forget things.
Yeah, you're just shutting down,
I shut down, and so that's when I forget things.
Yeah.
Like when I left my $400 headphones in the taxi in Dubai, and I was on the phone to you, and I panicked and had a massive, pretty much meltdown in front of these poor men, and they were like, "It's okay, miss," and I'm like, "Oh my god." Anyway, it's just like, and then you look back and you're like, you have no recollection of the incident whatsoever. Sorry, Harry Potter. But you look back and you're like, wait, how did? Because I'm such a control freak.
Yeah.
Like you want to be in control of everything. I do.
Me too.
It annoys me because I look back, I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like, and there's no memory of it because you're just fried.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it's interesting that you forgot your headphones that day, and you might think that's an ADHD thing, which yeah, it is. But in some ways, that was actually due to your autistic shutdown that you forgot those headphones.
Yeah.
So it's like the reasons and the whys for all these behaviors can actually be both,
Yeah.
or none, or one or the other.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
So confusing, yeah.
So confusing. So yeah, we see you again is one of the main point of this.
Or sorry, Elliot.
Yeah.
So rude. Or when I left my 7 pairs of spikes at the track when I used to do athletics. 7 pairs
Yeah.
of spikes at the track.
Yeah, literally, she
Like,
was
what?
a heptathlete and needed 1 pair of shoes for each event. How do you forget all 7?
And then I left them all at the track. That's so funny. Or when I left this is so dry. Sorry, don't even worry. Just cut it out.
Like what?
I was just like, who cares about my stories?
No, go.
Oh, I was going to say, when I went to Napier with my coach and we got off the plane and then we got straight in like the rental car and we literally get halfway to the hotel and then we were like, oh, where's our bags? And we forgot to get our bags off the campbell.
Like you were just like so focused on getting to your destination
Yes.
because you're probably really overwhelmed by the flight and everything. And then you forget your entire suitcase and it's still on the conveyor belt.
Still on the, oh my God, I'm having visions of my suitcase just going round and round this thing. That's funny.
Yeah, so just know that we're a mess inside, and we feel like it looks like we might have it under control. And honestly, people at school with us and at workplaces with us would probably look at us and go, "Oh, they got it under control. They're doing quite well." And the opposite could not be more true. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of the contradictions for me. I'm really good in a workplace at like having systems and processes, meeting deadlines, being a great employee, a great teammate. But then my home life suffers, and then everything at home is just absolutely a mess. And then I end up burnt out.
Yeah.
So it's not a good thing. It's because I'm at work masking and I can put those processes in, but then I get home and it suffers there.
Yeah.
So it's like you're living 2 lives.
Yeah.
And then it's really confusing because people have this perception of you, but actually the truth is like quite the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have like identity issues with that too, because I'm like, what do people think I am? What do I think what am I? Yeah. So we're gonna go through some of the contradictions that you have given us. This is in our Reddit community. If you want to come and join, just go to our link tree and click the link directly, write a little message, and then click the link. We'll add you. Just a reminder, when you do get added and accepted, you still have to actually click the join button. So stupid.
Admin.
But I can see a lot of people have like been accepted but not joined. So just remember, you got to actually join it to be part of the community. I think you can still see the stuff, but please join. Because, you know, the numbers going up is quite a nice dopamine hit. Come on. Feels like I'm gambling. Nah. So we asked the question, what are some lived contradictions you often face, probably due to your AuDHD? For example, I gave a couple of my examples. I love writing, and I've always been into writing. I've always written in like journals and like little poems, even as a kid and stuff. But because it's time consuming and requires me to actually get a book out or get things out to start it, I just don't do it. And it really annoys me because like I know I could be good at it, but I can't even though I love doing it, I really struggle to do it.
Or about how you've wanted to be a piano player your whole life.
Oh, like that one's probably the biggest thing ever that just really annoys me. Like I would be an amazing pianist. I know I would because I've got the talent and I can't stick a piano. I've tried to learn it 3 times, not because I can't learn it. I know I get it. I get the whole thing. It's the needing to practice and be in a room on your own for hours. I just can't do it. And it sucks because I know I'd be good at it. But I think it's the ADHD. I don't know. I also just expect to be Taylor Swift immediately. And it's the perfectionism of like being neurodivergent. You strive for perfection. And I think I actually saw someone answer and say, I have so many hobbies that I want to do and I love, but I can't start because if they're not perfect, I don't want to do it.
Oh, 100%.
That is me.
That is so relatable.
Oh, that's me to a T. Same with piano and same with the writing. It's like I want to be perfect and I can't find the motivation to sit in a room and do it all the time. I probably just need to find better strategies to do it, but that's one of mine. And another one for me is I want to go with the flow. I don't want any demands or pressures on me. I don't want anyone relying on me. I don't want it. I just want to go with the flow.
Like you can't have kids then, bro.
No, I know. But then at the same time, I want everything to be carefully planned out. I want to know every detail.
Yeah, on your terms.
On my terms, yeah. Exactly. But like I want it all planned out in my head. And so if something goes wrong, and I mean like even like down to if we're going to go, let's just say we're going out into town. We don't often do this, but we're going to town and I've already planned out the exact moment we're going to leave the house and I need to do X, Y, Z, you know, feed the cats, put this, blah, blah. I then know how long it's going to take us to get to the ferry terminal.
You have to like back calculate everything.
Yeah. And so if someone says, oh, should we just catch the next ferry later? Even though that might sound like, oh yeah, sweet, you got extra time. I'm like, oh, but then, and everything just freaks me out because it's like a domino effect. As soon as you move one little chess piece, everything else is going to have to move and it might fall. And that really stresses me out. So I want to be spontaneous and chill.
When it's on your terms.
Yeah, but I want to be like planned.
And that's where I get my adaptability and flexibility of a lifetime of living with Ellie.
What? No, yeah, true.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No, yeah.
It's taught me resilience.
Yeah, no.
Strength.
Paige is pretty good at like reacting to my...
Anytime she's like, can we? I'm like, yep. And she'll try to explain for I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Yep, sure. No,
but you need to also make sure that your needs are being met too.
You know what's funny is like you always wank on to me about, you know, in relationships and stuff, like how I need to make sure my needs are met.
Yeah.
And then literally my sister in front of me, like, do you know what I mean?
What do you
it's
mean?
very ironic.
What do you mean?
Like I put my needs aside to meet yours.
Yeah. but I'm also saying, please don't do that too. Like if it is actually going to put you out, please say something.
I did it recently and I feel like I really struggled. I forgot what it was.
What was it?
Oh, it was to do with a podcast. It was to do with recording a podcast. No, you were good. You were good. You were good.
I was good.
Yeah, you were good.
I remember.
I could, you were good. I could feel the angst off you.
It was there.
It was seething off you. But I knew that you couldn't say shit.
No, your Paige was feeling really down and we were going to record a podcast. And I knew that it wasn't the right environment to record a podcast.
Yeah.
But my brain was going, oh my gosh, now everything is going to have to fall back because I'm the one that edits it too.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to edit it tomorrow.
I know, I felt so bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was fine. I was chill. That's fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm feeling pretty glonky. No, I was fine and I was trying so hard to mask and go, yeah,
I know.
It's all good, hun. Well,
I felt so bad.
No, but I'm
because I also never do that, but it was really a dire situation because I couldn't not.
No, I recognise that. And so I was really trying hard to be like,
so thank you
it's
for
all
that.
good.
Thank you.
But I know
much.
you could feel my angst seething off me.
I was scared.
Nah, well, the thing is, I'm never going to actually.
Get angry. No, I
Two
know.
things can exist at once, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I can be totally okay with changing it, but I can also be really fucked up.
No, I know. It's fine. It was just.
No, I know. This is also quite a good metaphor for AuDHD. Is like two things can exist at once. You can want structure and routine, but you can want to be spontaneous.
Yeah.
And both, there's not an extreme of both. Both things can exist at once.
Yeah, totally.
There's actually a really cool creator on Instagram. She is from Australia, and she's called her handle is Neurodialectical. If you want to go follow her, I love her. Her name's Sarah, and she's autistic, ADHD, and has OCD. And she basically has a concept of neurodialectical thinking, which is literally this. It's like, I need routine and predictability to be safe and secure, and I need spontaneity and novelty to stay focused and content. So she's trying to go with the approach of like, both things can be true, and that's okay. I really love that. I'd love to get Sarah on one day and have a chat with her. So Sarah, if you're listening, holla at your gals. All right, let's move on to what people have said, okay?
Wait, when are you going to say your ones?
I just said them.
Oh, no, because I remember you said something to me the other day that you haven't mentioned about the environment. But yeah.
This is an interesting one that I figured out the other day about myself, and I wonder if anyone else will relate to this. I need consistency in my environments, so I need to like know what to expect in my environments and have it all consistent and predictable, autistic as. But I need my tasks to be dynamic.
Yes.
Because my ADHD gets
and
bored.
Diverse and like fun, exciting, yeah.
Exactly. So that's quite a weird anomaly. Like,
no, I'm the same though.
Yeah, like where I want both. It's like one thing can be consistent, but this thing can't be.
Yeah.
And it can't be the other way around.
Well, that's why I built my business out of my home.
Yeah.
And I just sit here all day, every day working on my task, and I'm ping-ponging between doing social media stuff where I'm doing, I'm choosing what I'm ping-ponging between.
Yeah.
Because I have control over that and what dopamine I get to seek. But it's in my home and I know my environment.
Exactly right. And that's why I think ideally when you're neurodivergent, being self-employed is potentially the best way to do it. But it's also hard because I lack the motivation sometimes, the internal motivation to do that. That's why being in a workplace for me sometimes is not better because I'm just running off cortisol, but I have more motivation because I'm scared of failing.
Honestly, the fear of being owned by someone else and being told what to do by someone else is what drives me every day to keep going. As tired as as burnt out as I can get sometimes.
Yeah.
There is no way I'm going back to it.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. And I have seen people talking on Reddit about like, how do you get work? Like what is there for us? And it's really hard.
It is
really
hard.
is.
I tell you what, I'm not trying to be like, I worked hard. But it was like 10 years, Ellie, from like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Of like trying 20 to 30 different like hobbies and trying to make little businesses to make something stick. And it was stressful and it was hard and it was tiring because I also had a full-time job. So I was doing it after work.
Yeah.
And then on my weekends, and I was tired and I was burnt out and eating shit and drinking alcohol, which wouldn't have helped with anything. But you go to your crutches.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been like, now I feel good at 30 years old once I'm diagnosed and medicated, and but that was like 10 years of trial and error.
Yeah.
Which was very tiring, and I'm not sure if that's helping. That's probably sounds really daunting, but I'm just trying to say like, yeah, it is hard.
It is hard for us. Yeah. We either have to do what Paige did or we have to go into an employment environment, which is not great because you can't control anything. The environment's not consistent and you're at the mercy of others, which I really struggle with, but then I'm good at it. But it's because I'm a fearful, stressed person that I'm good at it. And I've got a good brain, but like mental health suffers constantly.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in a full-time job, my mental health is just awful. It's just not. And I've realized now finally I have to not do that. And I'm privileged that I've got a partner who's got another bit, like got a business and stuff. But I really struggle with the work thing because I love having a job in a workplace because it's a consistent income that's always the same. If you're on a salary, every week you're getting X amount of money. I like that because I know that I'm going to be able to pay things and I know where my limits are. But on the other hand, being in a stressful full-time job is just awful. Then you go freelancing or contracting and you might end up with more money eventually, but in the interim, you don't know how much money's coming in.
And also, someone with ADHD, you might get a big sum of money, like I've learnt the hard way.
Yeah.
and you really might think you have a lot of money as a contractor, but you get to the end of financial year and you got to pay tax, you got to pay ACC levies. Sorry, this is not a freaking business chat, but it's just like that's the other thing. I've got into a bit of trouble sometimes because you're like, yo, like let's go on
I'm
a trip.
rich. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I should probably have saved like a third of that or half of it.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
exactly.
it's very interesting stuff.
It is. It's pretty much, we're just pretty much saying that either way, there's a cost. There's always a pros and cons to everything. But I think I finally worked out that the consistent salary for me is not worth the stress for me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just, So it's hard. I'm going to start reading some of these community contributions here of the contradictions people live with. And hopefully you relate to it. I mean, or maybe not. Hopefully you don't relate to it because it's probably really stressful. But maybe this will make you feel less alone. So we have someone who said, I want clear instructions, yet I don't want to be told what to do.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Yes.
Oh,
that is me.
Yeah. So that's because of pathological demand avoidance, which often comes with autism.
Oh my God, you can't win with us, but that is so true.
That is me as well, man. I want to know exactly the why and all the steps so that I know what's expected of me, but don't tell me what to do because I know what to do.
Oh, it's so relatable.
Oh my goodness. If you don't know what pathological demand avoidance is, we probably have spoken about it briefly, but it's basically as soon as there's a demand on you that's put on you by someone else and not yourself, you really have trouble coming out of your state of mind to do that thing.
Yeah, like when I was younger and I went to go do the dishes on my own accord and then like mum says it when I'm about to go do it and I sit back down and go, nah, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, and I reckon that's an ADHD kind of effect where it's like the dopamine's been taken away from you now because you were going to go and take your initiative and do it.
That was where the dopamine came from. Like, I'm going to get the praise from mum after this. And then she tells me and it's not, I won't get praise anymore, so you can get F.
Exactly. And then I think the PDA also comes in with autism where like people with autism struggle with like inertia in the way of like being, if they're in a state and they're doing something, moving to another state is changing your inertia and it's really hard to do. And I think that's another reason why PDA happens because you don't want to move from where you are.
Yes, 100%. If someone interrupts me while I'm like doing like a real hyper-focused task, like Paige, you need to go, get out.
I don't even process it.
I would snap. Like I snap because I don't, it's just a reaction.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
yeah. It's like executive overload almost as well. It's just like, nah, there's too much in my frontal lobe right now. I can't process that.
Yes, 100% on that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay.
No, it's just really hard to deal with. No.
But now that I know what it is, like I used to snap at my ex quite a lot, Matt, if you're listening. Sorry, hun. We're like best friends now. Nah, we're besties. What? Yeah.
Why'd you make that weird?
I don't know why I made that weird. But I would, now looking back, there were times where like I would snap not because I meant any harm, but because like you'd be like, you know, and I wouldn't be able to process it. And I'd be like,
yeah, overstimulated. Stop. Yeah, no. Amen. Again, we probably just sound like we're complaining, but we really, the point of this episode is to just make you feel less alone. If you're sitting there going, oh, what are my contradictions? You might recognize these, or you might even think of something different. You might even realize you've got contradictions in your life that you're dealing with. The same person said, I want to be in cozy clothes under weighted blankets most of the time, sensory seeking.
Yeah.
Yet I cannot bear being hot.
Yeah.
I mean, sister.
Yeah.
I think, or brother, could be brother. I'm the exact same. I hate being hot. It is like that. Oh my gosh, no, I hate being hot so much. Eh?
Yeah.
Like, I get angry.
No, you get like, you perspire, you sweat.
Oh yeah, bro. Especially on my ass region.
Yeah, you do. You'll sit down on like something and you'll sit up, stand up, and it'll be like wet.
Yeah, it's gross. I used to be so embarrassed at school. And then the same person said, I want my house to be clean and tidy and ordered. Yet I cannot keep it that way to save my damn life.
Oh, so relatable, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Same.
I get so stressed. Like I actually want to have a meltdown sometimes when I walk into my house because I want to try and keep it clean and tidy. But then I struggle to do that. And then my like autistic side gets really overwhelmed and angry.
Yeah.
But then my ADHD is like, nah, you're not going to be doing that today.
Yeah. And then you can't like focus on what you need to do because your house is messy.
Yeah.
But then you go to do.
You're
But
right.
then I ran out of breath. But then you go to do the cleaning and you literally start like 5 tasks at once. And as you're walking past the mop, you grab that when you're on the way to the toilet to grab like the toilet cleaner.
Yeah.
And it's like you do that like glitch thing where you're like, because you're trying to do everything all at once. So you're not doing anything at all.
Exactly. And then you get frustrated at yourself again.
Yeah.
Again, it all comes back to the cost within yourself.
Yeah.
And this is why AuDHD goes so unnoticed because they appear to like be all good, neurotypical kind of, and then
I mean, I don't
on
know
the
what it is.
outside,
Yeah.
but then on the inside, the torture is so real.
Yeah.
It's really tough, and it gets way worse in my luteal phase.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's when I fall off the wagon and all my shit goes out the window.
yeah,
And then when you come out of that and you manage to clean and you literally believe it with all your heart and soul, you're like, oh my God, this is me. This is new. This is new me. I'm keeping my house like this. My car's clean. Oh my God, my clothes are clean. They're all tidied and like, you know, and then
2 weeks later, you're like, oh, what?
2 weeks later, and you seriously believe it. Like, I believe it. I'm like, this is my new life. Like, I'm organized AF.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's what I was going to say. With the ADHD thing, when you're trying to clean and you start 5 tasks, that's a classic, like, ADHD thing of not being able to prioritize tasks.
Yeah.
Everything feels like a priority. And so you go, oh, I can't forget to do that. So I'll start that. No, I can't forget to do that. I do that too. I'm doing like 5 different tasks, and it's just so not productive.
No.
But we're trying to be productive. The irony.
Yeah, I also like, that also comes from the fact that I'm trying to do it as quick as I can because I never know when I'm going to run out of steam.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good one.
The amount of times I'm halfway cleaning and I just have to stop, and then like that mop or something is left half clean for the next like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right now, in mine and my partner Sam's sink,
Oh no.
in the sink, there's a raw egg in there, like in its shell, like a raw egg in the sink right now. When we got the box of eggs, that one had a slight crack in it. It's not enough for it to leak, but it had a crack. So one of us, can't remember which one, we both have ADHD by the way, grabbed it, put it in the sink just as like, I'll discard that one. That has been in the sink for 4 days. And it hasn't moved.
Oh my
Because
God.
for some reason our brains can't finish that. Like, we need a discard of it.
Oh.
But it's like, it's just there for now.
Nah, relatable AF.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got 5 bags of cat shit sitting in my bathroom that I haven't taken down. Or a whole basket of clean clothes that have been sitting there for a week that needs to be folded and put away. But they're just ending that task. So I shouldn't say I can't end tasks because I shouldn't tell my brain that I can. The mind is powerful. But we struggle to end tasks.
Yeah, finish them. Exactly. And then the autistic side of us just gets so overwhelmed and angry. And then I just go and lie down and don't do anything. Okay, this one, I think, Paige, you really get this one. I do too, but I think you really do get this one. This is a new person, wanting to be social, but then disliking it and wanting to leave.
Yeah.
That one is one of the most.
That is the bane of my life.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really hard place to be. Sorry, I don't like, oh, woe is me. Sorry. But it is. Because I look, like I've said a million times, it's my big thing, but like, I look at people like socializing, doing fun shit, and I'm like, oh my God, I want that.
Yeah.
And then like, I go and do it once in a blue moon and might enjoy it. And then I'm exhausted or I don't enjoy it. I'm like, that was just overstimulating. And
yeah.
And then I get,
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah. I mean, sister, yeah, that whole social thing is so tough because then it ends up in loneliness. Like, you feel lonely and like you don't have any.
Like, I feel like I don't have any friends, but I do. Like, I know I do. Like, the real ones are always going to be there, and I love them. But I also then beat myself up because then I feel like a shitty friend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I know.
It's a hard place to be.
It is. I think honestly, again, a lot of the point of this podcast is, a lot of us neurodivergent people, and I think especially ADHD is, because we're like diagnosed and it's only just been discovered. We really do self-hate, and like the mental health really does suffer, and that's why we are doing this podcast, because we just want you to know that you're not alone, and we feel really like angry within our brains a lot too.
Are you crying or did you yawn?
No.
Oh, your eyes are watery.
Oh,
Are you okay?
I think I'm just sick.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, yum. This is another one. Being sensitive to small sounds, but loving loud music on my headphones.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think
if you're not in control of the sound.
that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're in control, then your ADHD is like, I love this music and I need it to work because it stimulates my brain. But then another little annoying like electricity buzz or little hammer that's a building site's like 200 meters down the road, and you can just hear it.
When the house next door was being built, there was just that constant.
So annoying, eh? Yeah, no, I'm with you. Wanting to read, write, or watch something and hyper focusing on it, or wanting to and daydreaming instead. So like having every intention to do it, and then that is me.
Yeah.
I love exercise but hate getting hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
so
me too.
good. Yeah.
I run a lot. Well, not a lot. Far out, not a lot. I run.
You do?
Yeah, I do. But I really struggle. I actually have to do it early because as soon as there's an ounce of sun, my pace actually slows. It's really quite interesting. I can't run as fast in the daytime when it's hot.
Yeah.
If I go before 7 a.m., I'm like, woo, Ooh, yeah. But I really struggle with heat regulation.
Hard out. Sorry, side quest story.
Yeah.
Can I say this?
Yeah, what? Oh, no. What?
When like one day you invested in like a proper like over the shoulder boulder holder and you shaved 30 seconds off your PP. Sorry, bro. You can cut that off.
No, that's hilarious. No, yeah, I was wearing this shitty sports bra, which was old and I really needed a new one. And honestly, running with boobs is so hard.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you girls with big big titties because I got itty bitty ones, so I don't really feel them.
So annoying. It's like having a big sack in front of you as you try and
That's
run.
what it is.
Yeah, it is. And then I decided to finally invest in a proper sports bra, and I shaved 30 seconds off my overall time.
So you imagine like, because they're not supported, you're like, the force is kind of going like, like it's oscillating sideways. Whereas, so like
once they were sort of rock hard and
rock
solid.
Hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I do relate to it in a little bit sometimes when I'm in my luteal.
Little bits, right?
In my luteal phase sometimes when my breasts are bigger and they're sore.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Ooh. It's like Bridesmaids in the opening scene when they're having sex. And she's like, oh. But there's like a taster into what it's like, and I feel bad for you girls. I'm like, oh my God, this must suck having big.
I know. And mine are actually, they're reasonable, but they're still not even not that big. Like, there's other people out there who have way bigger boobs, and I'm just like, how are they doing it? I don't know.
I know.
So, I don't know how we got onto breasts, but here we are. This one, I so get this. I can go with the flow, but also need to know when the flow starts and when it will approximately end.
That's good.
That is so true.
So relatable.
Yeah, I feel that so hard. Let's have a look at another one. I love reading, but I don't have time for it, but I really miss it, but I need to sleep because sleep is so important for us.
Yeah,
I so get that. I love my hair being clean, but I hate washing it.
Oh, amen,
Oh,
sister, brother. Yeah. That was me this week. I did not wash my hair for a whole week, bro.
I didn't either, like last week when I was sick. Yeah, I hadn't washed my hair for like 10 days. Because also, it's the task of all the steps and having to do it. But you know what else it is? It's the sensory.
The change of sensory things.
Yeah, and then you got to deal with wet hair, or you have to dry it, which is now another 15 to 20 minutes of a task that adds onto it. So I just leave it wet, but then I just feel yuck because my hair's wet.
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that.
Like, I was puffing in the shower.
What, scrubbing your hair?
Yes, like because I'm burned out. Like everything's hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like, I'm an athlete.
You are
like
an
I am
athlete.
strong and fit, and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
every second word is a
Yeah.
for me at the moment.
You really do need to take a rest. Like this is the thing about Paige, and you might relate to Paige. Paige doesn't really rest. Even when she's resting, she's got a laptop on her knee still, and she's either drawing something or still working on like a client thing. She's a graphic designer, by the way. Paige never rests and actually never stops, and she goes, I love active relaxing, which is true, and that's a lot of the time ADHDers, I think, like to active relax. But if you're listening, and I think it is still important to try and stop your brain a little bit.
Because it's not because I'm not exhausted, it's because I get bored from lying there doing nothing.
Yeah. So like even things like, I don't know, watching a movie over and over again, maybe that's just, at least you're relaxing and you know what's expected. I'm really trying to stress to Paige that she does need to stop somehow, because it's getting to the point where I'm like,
well, I'm forced to stop.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get to that point where I'm forced to stop, because then I don't have control over things. So yes, I'm trying to be better.
Yeah, nice. No, but and there's, again, it comes back to the point of ADHD constantly craving stimulation and autism constantly being burnt out because of it.
Yeah.
It's like they're each other's enemies, but then they kind of help each other out in a weird way and hide each other, but then it's really hard to live with them. But at the same time, I also think a lot of ADHDers are bloody geniuses.
Yeah, we are.
And I think if we had an environment in the world that was more welcoming to us and less of a capitalistic kind of rat race for money, and we were just all, living in the forest together, I feel like ADHDers and just neurodivergent people in general wouldn't have these same behavioral issues or like traits, because it would be nurtured more.
Yeah.
We're trying to be put into this box that doesn't work for us. And we get given Ritalin, not to fix it, but to make sure we can go to our job 9 to 5 and keep like contributing to the economy.
Yeah.
That's so backwards to me. So yeah, it's.
Ellie knew I was in trouble when I sent her a video last week and I was watching a movie.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And doing nothing else.
Which was great.
That is great. But I don't really watch movies because I get bored, for one.
Yeah.
I like fast-paced TV series.
Yeah.
Over and done within half an hour, and funny gags, whatever.
Me too.
Or action. But I literally hit a point where I couldn't even really focus on the movie. I was just like lying on the couch looking into nothing. Like, you know, when you kind of your eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
It's kind of in that state. She
Yeah.
knew I was in trouble when she saw me watching a bloody movie because I don't ever do that.
Exactly. But yeah, the aim ideally is to not get to that point, to
Yes.
avoid the burnout. And this is where therapy comes into it, where you need to have a psychologist that understands the nuances of AuDHD and how to like play to both of them consistently and balance them both. It's so hard. It is so hard. Again, you probably go, have you got any solutions? And look, not a huge amount.
You just need to listen to your body
Yeah.
and your mind and your soul.
Yeah. And hopefully just you feel less alone and you hate yourself a little less by
And
listening.
knowing why, because we used to be like, why can't I? Like, not knowing why was really hard.
Yeah, and I think being autistic, not knowing why, makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
So you
it's so
asked me
tough.
whether I pick my nails while I sit here. I do.
Oh, the other day I was in this is my office, and Sam, my partner, came in and noticed all these fingernails all over the floor where Paige sits during the podcast. And so yeah, she just picks the nails and just throws them on the floor.
But the thing is, I didn't even notice that I do them. The only reason I had noticed was them. You guys brought it to my attention. I'm like, oh, you know, I do. I pick my nails while sitting here.
Love it.
Something to do, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Here there was one here that yes, this one. Concerts. Hate people touching me, loud noise, flashing lights, feeling trapped. Love concerts. I'm the same. I love music. Like I do love music and I enjoy live performances, but I'm the same. I really struggle going to festivals and stuff because it's just an over-sensory nightmare and there's no consistency. You don't know when you're going to get to the toilet next. Oh my gosh. It's just awful.
Hard. I'm like the person, like 3 songs ago, I'm like, right, we're out of here. There is no way I'm standing here for 2 hours waiting for an Uber.
Yep.
Oh, look, there's another one.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. That was a nail.
Nice. And in regards to music as well, I really struggle. I love music. I'm musically talented and it runs in our family. But I find that I want music, but I can never decide what I want to listen to. So then I don't listen to anything at all. Yeah, and often in my car, I'm sitting in silence, which autistic side loves. But then the ADHD side, sometimes I will play a song and I'm like, that's right. I love music. I'm going to start listening to music again. And then I just don't. Let's have a look what else we got here. I'm a successful and organized administrator for my job. My life admin, chaos. I mean, I think that's so common for AuDHD is to be in control at work and have everything looking amazing and perfect almost, and then just their life being the complete opposite. This person said, I make really detailed plans for hobbies, like a running plan, but I can never stick to it.
Oh my God, that is me.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
And you think that you are, you're like, yes, this is it. And then the next day you're like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, here's the one I saw. I love getting creative, but hate when it's not perfect, so that stops me even starting. That is me to a T as well. I'm just paralysis, because it's got to be perfect. Even this podcast, it was about a year where Paige and
it was like 2.
Maybe, yeah. Paige had already made this logo and everything, and it took me so long to actually just go, okay, just do it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. You're just going to have to just sit on the mics and just start talking. And it was the right thing to do. It was just to start. But it was so hard to start because I care so much. Like I want this podcast to be good and valuable, and I don't want to lead people astray. And I've got all these thoughts coming through my head. But honestly, I don't regret just starting it. And there's been an amazing audience built very quickly and a lot quicker than we thought. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We'll do a couple more. Wanting to be able to read, but because I forget the page I just read, I give up easily.
Oh, you know, that's me as well.
Me too.
Oh, feels on that. Because I do enjoy reading like while I'm doing it, and then I realize like I've gone 2 pages with reading it but not reading it.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, no.
Like you're saying the words in your head, but you're not actually absorbing the story.
Yeah, 100%. Not comprehending it. The same person said, you might get this page, wanting to get back into my art, but because there are too many steps to prep, it feels like too big of a task.
Oh yeah, that happens to me where I start prepping it, I get halfway, like almost like ready to start doing it, have prepped, and then I'm like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
And then I don't even do what I was doing.
Yeah, amen. And then last one, I want to go out and be around people, but need solitude to not get overwhelmed, which is
bloody oath.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
That's really tough. Thank you so much for sharing your personal experiences with us. We want to do more stuff like that on this podcast because I honestly believe that the best way for us to learn is to learn from each other. And Paige and I are not experts by any means. We want to learn from you just as much as you're learning from us. So please come and join our Reddit community. And I guess the message of this one is you're not alone. If you're struggling to find solutions for your ADHD, you're not alone because it's still being researched and it's still, people are still trying to catch up with all the research.
But I would say like listen to your body and your mind where you can and don't gaslight yourself into like going, But why? Like, what am I saying?
Yeah.
Like, where you can control that, look after your brain and your body and put your needs first. And I do this where I like go, well, you shouldn't be feeling like that because blah blah blah. Don't shame yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. And just is what it is. Like 3 weekends ago when you guys went to the concert that I was meant to be going to, and then I was like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. And I
Exactly.
didn't, even though, yeah.
Exactly. And like Mike said last week, psychologist, you're not disordered. It's the
Yeah.
environment that's making you feel disordered. I honestly think, like I said before, if we were back years and years ago, I know that things would have been different and there would have been restrictions on us. But I think at the same time, if we were just animalistic in our primal nature, I think we'd naturally all just gravitate to our interests and we'd
Yeah.
live a really communal society and it would work.
Yeah.
It's too individualistic these days, and I think we need support around us, and we're trying to play to our strengths, but then no one's helping us with our sort of weaknesses and
And a lot of like neurodivergent people are creative, which is amazing. But those sorts of professions, like, they are harder
yeah,
to make a living off. So feels on that.
yeah, they're undervalued.
Yeah, they're
Honestly.
undervalued. Yeah.
It's really annoys me because art is what makes world and your life enriched.
Yes.
Like it is what we all share and bond over. Concerts, music, art, all of that. And when COVID happened and all those things stopped, it was quite obvious the gap in like culture and joy.
Yes.
And we want those things, but we don't pay those people enough. And it's
Yeah. It's such a
yeah,
bummer.
it is such a bummer. But hey, you're not alone. Let us know if you've got any feedback from this ep, or if you've got any other contradictions that you experienced. Have you related to this? We're going to have more guests coming up in the next few months.
We've got some exciting ones, I think.
We do actually. We have one
yeah.
that's lined up, which I'm like, I'm not going to say yet because,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we've got one lined up that is a very great, informative guest, I think, that you're going to get a
Yes.
lot out of. And I'm really looking forward to chatting to them. So that's coming up soon. Other than that, have a great week. Join our Reddit. Thanks
And
for
make
being
sure
here.
you click join
Yeah, make
after
sure
being accepted.
Yeah. Sorry about that extra step. But thanks for listening again, and we just hope this week's episode just made you feel a little bit less alone.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.